Well, you've seen him in hits from The Lord of the Rings to Lost. Now Dominic Monaghan is reprising his role in Moriarty, The Silent Order. The Audible original turns the Sherlock Holmes universe on its head, and Dominic is here to tell us all about it. Good to see you in person.
Thank you. Nice to see you too.
Yeah, I interviewed you for this or something, another project before. We were on Zoom, so it's much nicer when you're
It was like COVID
face-to-face.
times, maybe.
It was COVID times. I'm glad we're through that. Yeah. But let's talk about this show. I mean, like we said in the intro, it kind of flips Sherlock Holmes on its head. Tell us where we pick up in season 2.
Well, spoiler alert, I think at the end of season 1, Moriarty is thought to maybe have died. So that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Since Moriarty comes back for season 2. And he shows up in the very charismatic city of New York, because, you know, that's an amazing place to tell a story.
Absolutely.
And, you know, same kind of idea that we think of with that Sherlock Holmesian world. We have a villain showing up, there's a lot of things to solve, clues and mysteries and things like that, and that's what's happening in season 2.
Yeah. So you've said that he's an enigmatic character. We all know that he is. How do you tap into him? Like, what is your way of kind of getting to the root of that?
When you're doing something that is really just the voice for the audience, not necessarily for me when I'm doing it, but certainly for the audience, you have to think about that voice. So I have a relatively deep voice. Moriarty's voice is even deeper. He kind of talks like this, much lower. And, you know, he probably spends a lot of time in his head, the character. So the cadence of my speech is kind of slow and very measured. He does not make mistakes, Moriarty.
Yeah.
You know? A little bit like you when you're doing the live show.
Yeah. No, I'm unlike Moriarty then, because I make plenty. But we've been teasing it throughout the whole show today. There's a new cast member. Helen Mirren joins the cast. You were just saying, like, I know she's big here, but she's even bigger over there. Like, first of all, how did you even get her on the show?
Yeah,
What's it like playing with her?
You just have to ask, you know, that's how it works in the business, really. You just have to ask. You just have to be slightly bombastic, and you just have to ask. So we put together a great script. Myself and Phil Lamar, who plays Sherlock Holmes, had recorded our stuff. I think we had something that looked like a show. And then you go and ask Dame Helen Mirren, and you say, hey, listen.
You start from the top.
You start from the top.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we'd love you to come along and be our villain. She gets to do some really devilish, fun things. She said, yes, we were delighted, and that's how it went.
So, like, the job of an actor is to react. But what are you reacting to if you're just doing voice work? Are you in the room together? Are you feeding off each other?
In season 1, I was, for a lot of the scenes. In season 2, unfortunately, because I was also making another show, I found that I was doing most of my stuff on my own with kind of temporary characters. I think by the time Dame Helen was doing her stuff, she was reacting based on my voice and Phil. And you kind of knit it together. But I'm kind of in first and out first, so I'm okay with doing it on my own.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at your Instagram, and I was noticing that you, like, give people advice on your Instagram.
Oh, yeah, I do.
You give some pretty good advice on there. Have you always been good at giving advice? Is this something that you've prided yourself in?
I kind of take it with a pinch of salt. Like, I'm not kind of saying, hey, listen, I'm an expert. I just basically say, what I write is, how can I help? And people can ask me silly questions like, what's your favorite color of balloon? Or they can ask me serious questions like, I have my heart broken, what should I do? And I try my best to answer honestly. Sometimes I'm all over the place, sometimes I'm right. If I'm being sarcastic, I put the answer sideways. It's just a fun way for me to chat with people.
Yeah. You've done a lot of voice work now. I mean, you've done the podcast, you've done now this Audible series. What do you love about this audio storytelling? You've also done radio plays.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm an actor. I kind of know where I go where the work is. I think the real challenge about doing voice work for an audience is that's really all they have. So they have to paint the picture after that. So you have to try and put as much of a performance, as much of yourself as you can into that performance so that they can then create what it is in their mind.
Yeah, it's almost harder, I think.
I think it is harder. When I was a kid, I lived in Germany. We traveled back to England to see our grandparents quite a lot, and we listened to a lot of radio plays, and I was completely transfixed with these radio plays because you create the world in your mind.
You get to have, you don't have to just check out, you got to actually use your own creativity to create that universe. I love that too. Well, season 2 of Moriarty, The Silent Order, debuts tomorrow, November 9th on Audible. Good to see you in person. Thanks so much.
Great to see you too.
Yeah.